into this. What is the MAP test? And this is the test that we were talking about.
Yes, the MAP test. It's sometimes called the Measures of Academic Progress, or the NWEA, or the NWEA, or MAP Growth. It has a lot of names because it's taken about 1 in 4 school kids in the U.S. right now take the MAP test.
Oh, really?
So a lot of
what do the schools use it for? Do they use it as an end-of-year test, or do they use it as a progress test?
They use it as a progress test. They use it some to measure, to sort of, the kids will take it in the fall and the spring to to see how they did for the year. And teachers get the results a little bit faster than those state-based end-of-year tests. They'll come out months later. And for this, you get results. I mean, kids get results immediately when they finish the test with us. And then we get detailed results to the parents within a couple days. So it's a much quicker turnaround, which means that you can actually use the results. If it's, if you're waiting 3 or 6 weeks, you don't even really remember. And so it's hard to really.
And you want to make the adjustments sooner instead of later. And
exactly. And also if you have if the results aren't what you expected, it's a lot easier to kind of think about what happened if you get those results right away, as opposed to trying to pick it apart.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. And so what else? It's an adaptive online test. And so we'll take it. The first couple questions will be about grade level. And then if they're getting questions right, then the questions get harder. And if they're getting questions wrong, then they get easier. And for kids who are working below grade level, the system really works to get kind of underneath where their performance is and then move up so that nobody gets frustrated.
Right. Well, that's good. So does the parent then kind of say where they think their child's at? Is that where it starts, or do you pick something on the test to say this is kind of where the test should start, or is it just ask questions to get you there?
Usually we require that parents give us a grade level, and for parents that don't use grade levels, because not everybody does, we just say, whatever they would be, what grade they would be in your local public school, just because it's just as a jumping off point. And because it's really just the first few questions, the first test they take. And then after that, it's all based on their performance in the tests before that. So it'll,
Neat. So compared to other tests that are out there, what is the same? What is different about the MAP test?
Let's see. Well, some things that are the same. It is a nationally norm reference test. It's a test that school administrators generally know about. But the main thing that's different is most of the tests that homeschoolers take are, we call them fixed tests. So there's a collection of questions that are based on your child's grade level.
Right.
And so if they're working well above or well below grade level, or a mix, which happens a lot in homeschooling, they can get a question that is, they may not be being asked the right questions for them. And that can either be really boring or really frustrating. And also it means that you don't get the results that are really useful, because if you have a kid who's a high flyer and they get everything right, well, that doesn't really tell you anything. Okay, so they blew 3rd grade out of the water. Where are they? And if that they're struggling, well, you already, that doesn't help either. So
does the test adapt then if they're doing really well? Then it, like you said, it moves them up, and so then they can score in different levels.
Right.
They aren't going to just like max out on that one grade level. And like you said, you won't know where that they could maybe have increased 3 grade levels in this subject and be down another grade level on this subject. Yeah. So that's very useful information.
Yeah. And there are sub threads within each subject. So if you have a kid who, say, struggles with calculation, but really understands algebraic thinking, they'll get easier questions with computation and harder questions with algebraic thinking. So you know right where they are. And then we give them, just tons of specific learning statements about the kinds of things they're ready to learn next.